Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of CLX Foundry Live, where we go deep inside your builds and assemble them from the ground up. I'm your host, DJ Blue PDX, and of course, joining me live from our amazing studios there in Wichita, Kansas, is our lead technical expert, Paul Steffens, and today's master builder, Zach Killingsworth. Gentlemen, how are you?
Hi. Doing good.
Good. And if you look around, my voice might actually be somewhere on the floor, because I feel like that's where I'm at right now. Welcome in, everybody, for wherever you may be watching from. We just want to say we appreciate it. Now, the one thing we also appreciate is the things that CLX decides to give away. So let's talk about that real quick, because there's an amazing PC in the back that we've teamed up with our friends at Beacon that was also partnered with our folks at Fantex, XPG, and AData. This beautiful, beautiful PC is going to be won by one of you. Plus, you'll also be able to get your Beacon Mix Create and a Beacon mic included with the bundle. So here's how you get information on how to enter. Exclamation GiveHorus in the chat will get you the link to the surf site, and that will give you all the steps to get as many entries as you can. There's also codes.
Graphics card in it too.
Oh yeah.
And there's also codes. The codes can actually be redeemed. You'll find them here in our chats. You will also find them in our Discord at discord.gg/CLXgaming. Periodically on our social media, that is CLX Gaming at YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and Threads, and then on my stream as well. So keep an eye out, pay attention, and keep rocking, because we're going to see who's going to win that PC. But right now, we've got a PC for Ralph in Connecticut. Let's take a look at what we're going to be building for him.
All right, so Ralph has configured one of our sets, and he's taken advantage of one of our Black Friday deals. We got a bunch of stuff going on the website right now, but what he's taken advantage of is this came with a 13700K, so he's getting a free upgrade to an i7 14700KF. To cool that, we've got the Intermax Liquimax 3 360 RGB AIO right here. This is in white, so staying on theme there. For our motherboard, we've got the ASRock Z790-C. This is the DDR5 version. And for our memory, we've got 2 sticks of Patriot 16 gig DDR5 5600 speed memory in RGB. For our storage, for our main OS drive, we've got AData 2 terabyte 700 gold NVMe M.2 drive, and then we've also got a 6 terabyte Western Digital Blue as extra storage. So total 8 terabytes of storage on this. And for our video card, we've got an RTX 4070 from Asus here. Our case is obviously our white obelisk here. We've done these a couple times on the show, but this is a new case. Really looks good in white. We also offer it in black as well. I'm going to have 7 RGB fans in this, the Game DSA Olus in white. And for our power supply, we've got the Gigabyte 850 GM 80 plus gold fully modular power supply.
Nice. Okay, now we, as always, if you have questions or hear something that you're not familiar with, please feel free to ask. We are here to answer. And we already have one question coming in from Vicious Krisnick. How are you, bud? I have a question. Can thermal paste in the CPU socket cause CPU overtemps?
So thermal paste in your CPU socket, I don't know if it's going to affect your temperatures, but it's probably going to affect a lot of other stuff. You don't want to have thermal paste inside that socket. You might get a little bit of bleed from the outside if you put too much on into the sides. That's probably not too much to worry about, but you definitely want to keep the thermal paste out of there.
Excellent. Nice. Okay. So now we're getting started by taking that case apart. Now, what are some of the cool features about this case, Paul?
The things that stand out to me the most are these brackets that Zach just showed. So this comes with an anti-sag bracket in 2 different ways. So it can be, you know, however your card is, there's a couple ways you can do it. But really the front of this case really stands out to me. You guys will see it once we get it on, but we've got this nice glass panel to really show off the RGB, the fans being white and staying on theme. It looks really good, so.
Love it. Love it. All right, so first up, we've got the motherboard, as you mentioned. It's an ASRock Z790C. It is a Wi-Fi enabled board. It's got your basic I/O hookups, and it has its own I/O shield, which is a plus.
Yeah, the built-in I/O shield. We were just talking about this before we went live. It's like, I wish every motherboard had this, from your entry-level board to your high-end. Such a nice thing to have to worry about it.
All right, take a look at the top. We've got our PS2 connectors. In the event that you have a legacy mouse or keyboard, going down the line, obviously you'd see the HDMI. We've got 5 USB 3.2 Gen 1s, and then two 3.2 Gen 2s, one Type A, one Type C. You've got your gigabit LAN port, and of course your audio sockets down below, right below the antennas for your Wi-Fi. Nice. I will say one thing I really love about the motherboards as of late is they're all decorated. There's no longer just that basic green blah.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of things that are not basic, we're going with a 14th gen processor for this build. It's an Intel Core i7-14700KF. These are relatively new. Paul, what can you tell us about this processor?
Yeah, so this is obviously 14th gen Intel, the brand new stuff that just came out. It's a 20-core, 28-thread processor. So we've got 8 P cores or performance cores that have hyper-threading, so you get 16 threads off there. And then you've got 12 E cores going along there to give you that total. It's got a base speed of 3.4, and it'll boost up to 5.6 as long as the demand is there.
Nice. That's pretty powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And it's weird to think these things just all of a sudden popped out and they were ready to go.
Yeah.
Usually there's a bit of a lead up, but as for the M.2, we've got two drives that are going to be going in this. The M.2 is a 2 terabyte A-Data Legend 700 Gold. It is an M.2 SSD that'll be popped right in there. And there is a secondary drive. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. There we go. Now, these A-Data cards, they actually come with their own heatsink, which is kind of ingenious if you've got a board that doesn't have a heatsink built into it.
Yeah, it's a nice addition to have if your board doesn't have it, like you mentioned, DJ. Very easy to install. Yeah. It's just got some adhesive on top of the thermal pad, so you just peel that back and put it on.
I dig it. We got Godly over in the purples with Resident Face and Vex. Firewolf is in the house. Hello, hello, hello.
Welcome, everybody.
Got Steve M and Nick over in the red zone.
What's up, Damon?
Hi.
We're adjusting all of my chats, so I've got them all on one screen. All right, here we go. Now, obviously, we're going to be putting on a cooler for this, and that cooler is going to be one of the new Enermax Liquimax 3s. It's an ARGB 360 closed-loop cooler.
That's right. Yeah, these coolers come in black or white. I really like that there's the white offering for when we have a white build like this. Just a nice touch to have. So when installing your AIO, so all of them are pretty easy to do. The Enermax has probably the most steps. So you can see Zach's put his posts onto the back plate here, and that's what these are coming through. So he's going to go through the hardware. Typically an AIO is going to come with 3 to 4 sets of hardware for your different types of motherboard. So you just want to make sure you're picking out the right hardware that matches your motherboard, and then go from there. So
there you go. Nice. Now we're going to get that bracket on there. Because you have to have brackets to mount these things in.
Yep, so we have our back plate on there, and then it comes with a couple different connectors that we actually put on the pump here. So Zach's going to install those here, just making sure we grab the ones that are for this Intel socket. So we've got that, and just a couple screws going in. They do give you an extra screw for this. They've always done that. I've always liked that because there's not many screws like this. So if you dropped one, it might be a bad deal.
Jimmy mentions that the doing the all-in-one for the first time is the scariest.
Yeah, it can be an intimidating thing to get into because it's like, oh, this is my water cooling and everything. But most of them are just really easy to install now. So just kind of take your time. It comes with a booklet of instructions you can follow.
And Moons, you bought a 165 hertz monitor for your PS5 and the screen came and shattered.
Oh.
Wow. That is, I would make the shipper pay for that.
Yeah, that's no
Jeez. Good grief. That is unfortunate.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Up next. I'm pretty sure we're going to be doing some, putting some thermal paste on there.
Yeah.
And what kind of thermal paste are we using today?
So we've got Arctic Silver 5 going on here. We've used Arctic Silver for quite a few years now. I think when I started, they were on like Arctic Silver 3, maybe 2. But it's just a really good thermal paste to use.
We got Winter in the house. Jimmy Won't Stop says, between this show and the instructions, PC building went from scary to adult Legos. I'm glad you have this on Twitch. That's awesome.
Hey, that's great to hear.
It's true, though. It is totally true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, within the first couple of weeks of hosting the show, PCs became less scary. I will say that for me.
Mm-hmm.
I was always concerned I'm going to break this thing.
Yeah. The only part that I'm really like just very careful and focused on of a PC build now is just installing the processor. It's like you get that in, that's pretty much the scariest part. Everything else, it's kind of hard to mess up.
Well, here's an interesting thing. Firewolf mentions, I was thinking about buying a CLX computer, but I'm very uncertain. I'm trying to find something way better than my cyber power that won't even play Overwatch without crashing.
Oh, we can definitely help you out with that. I don't like to mention any of our competitors or get into some weird thing there, but we can definitely get you taken care of. Get you something you're happy with that doesn't break the bank either.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Now, that is our pump cable, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm. Yep, so this is a standard 4-pin fan header that Zach is plugging in here. Typically, most AIOs are going to have that, and that's going to be plugged into either your CPU fan header, or most boards have an AIO pump header. You can do either one. Obviously, if it's an AIO pump, you want to use that pump header if you can. And then this, yep, so we're just routing this through our little standoffs there. And you don't have to do this, but we like to do it because it hides that cable and just gives it a really clean, professional look.
Nice. Where's Ivory hiding? He's here. Ivory is here. What's up, Greg Wiz? How you doing? All righty. Next up is our RAM. We've got two 16 gig sticks of Patriot DDR5 5600 RAM for a total of 32 gigs. Yeah, the difference in performance between DDR4, I went from DDR3 to DDR5, and that was just wild. Wild.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, whenever the next generation of RAM comes out, it's so much faster than the previous generation. It's usually a giant leap in performance.
All right, we're gonna get our fan set. Now, are we gonna be using the fans that it came with?
Yes, so we have the Aeolus M2 fans. These are the white versions.
Oh, got it.
So we have these in white and black now. We already have our case fans in. They come that way from the factory. Now, sometimes we will change these fans out from the factory, but since this is how it is, we got these in here. So the fans that we're putting on the AIO are the same that we have in the case, and they're going to also plug into this fan controller right here. Now, we'll get a little bit more into this once we're further along in the build, but basically we've got our fan controller right here. So you're going to have a button that you're going to be able to change stuff with, and then also a remote that you can use to change the color and fan speed and all that good stuff.
That is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as for fans, this is going to have a total of 7 GameBS Aeolus M2s.
Mm-hmm.
What is our airflow pattern going to look like for that case?
So our main intake is going to be in the front. So right here, we're going to have 3 coming in, and then we're going to have 1 exhausting out the rear here, like a typical case does, and then 3 more out the top of the case.
Nice. Awesome. Notice looking enough, you can actually see the shroud down below. Again, the white grommets look so good on that case. You can also see down below, you've got the shroud for the power supply unit.
Yep.
And extra cabling along with hard drives, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we've got our hard drive trays down here. And we do have, the external hard drive, so that's where that's going to be, or not an external hard drive, sorry, a secondary hard drive. So that's going to go right here.
Nice.
I'm just going to snip some of these zip ties real quick while Zach's getting his radiator screws ready.
What's up, Godly? Welcome. You want a white build now? Honestly, I love mine. Mine was, yeah. I still rant about this thing. It's so great.
They are clean, that's for sure.
Yes.
And the RGB just tends to glow a lot better in the white cases. The white reflected just from the tubes on the AIO to everything around the case. It really shows off the RGB well.
Well, like, and our giveaway build, it does the same thing. It is such a bright case, and of course, everything reflects it.
Yeah.
I've put the back order in further. Yeah, no white zip ties.
Everybody wants white
the
zip
Felix-
ties.
Let's see here. Uncut Shane says, so do you guys get enthusiast builds, but later down the line learn the customer is only going to be playing Age of Empires?
I mean, we don't always, most of the time we don't have an exact idea of what the customer is using. Obviously, I'm sure they're going to be gaming, but, it's their money. They can, if they want a $10,000 Age of Mythology computer, I'm for it.
Let's see. Winter 501st asks, do any of the CLX stuff come with a Type-C USB port?
Yeah, so most of our options do, or our case options do. So this case, we've got two USB 3.0s on the top. We'll show you, yeah, perfect. So we got two USB 3.0s. You obviously got our headset and mic in the middle. And then this one up here is a Type-C connector. So most cases nowadays are coming with at least one Type-C on them.
Yeah. You're going to donate a case of white zip ties to CLX? All right, we're going to get that all lined up there. Now, unlike some of our other cases where we've talked about the 3/4 build, this is actually a full set. It goes all the way to the back of the actual case, which is nice. Gives you a little more, I would say, wiggle room inside the case. Let's see here. We got a question from Gagerator. Says, do you see a difference on side intake fans compared to front intake fans? For example, DJ's PC compared to the current build.
So I don't really see a difference in the temperature of the case based on where the intakes are at. Both cases, both designs, each case gets engineered specifically for the airflow that's going through them. So really the biggest difference for your case, just your internal case temperature, is going to be the amount of fans, not necessarily the placement. Placement obviously does matter, but I don't notice a huge difference from the inside of this case having 7 fans compared to like an 011 with 7 fans, where the fans are just configured differently.
Thank you, Greg. Red Ghost asked, what do I have to do to win a free PC? We both typed GiveHorus at the same time. Yep, click the link, do the props, do all the things. Yo, we've got a sub coming in from, good grief, what happened to my voice? From Easy Tunes. Welcome in. How are you, man? Good to see you. Glad to have you here. Steve M over on the red side says, I can't wait to get my PC back, even though I just sent it back yesterday. Yeah, being without my PC is would be unbelievably concerning. Okay, getting that all mounted up at the top. As for the drive that Paul is holding, that is our secondary storage drive. This is a 6 terabyte, 3.5-inch Western Digital Blue.
So I'm just going to be popping this into our tray. Now some of these trays, obviously you can see these holes here. You've got different holes for if you were installing a 2.5-inch to this tray. We're doing the 3.5-inch, the big HDD, and it's got its posts actually built in to the side here. It's going to be kind of hard to pick up. So essentially those posts line up with the screw holes on the side. So we'll just pop this into place. And then as long as we're content with how snug it is, we put some screws in on the bottom as well just to make sure it's secure. But once you get it in there, I mean, you can see I'm grabbing it by the tray here and it's staying in there pretty good.
Let's see here. So did I miss? I did. I think I missed a giveaway code. Did I miss a code? Possibly. Still getting used to reading multiple chats. DJ's blind. All right, it was Horus-JFPM, Jack Frost, personal mania. Not sure where that went. Did you check your DMs on Discord? Oh, I did, damn it.
Mind if I rotate this a little,
Yeah.
Zach? So, get that.
Yeah, it was on over here on the
Oh, I
green
got you,
side
yeah.
is where that is right now. Nice.
Nice. Oh, sorry.
Turned around. Now,
We're all tied together.
I got a question for Zach.
Yes. That's
What is the obviously there's a difference in the space that you have available for cable management. So what are some different what kind of approach do you take, since obviously it's going to be a little bit different than when you have a space for them right behind the motherboard?
So
What's that approach look like?
if we look really close here, we have quite a few different avenues to tie down. So we have tie down straps there. That's what these all are. So we can use essentially one line for power, one line for case, and one line for fans. And that makes it pretty easy to troubleshoot any problems that come up in the future. If a fan dies, or if our graphics card isn't getting enough power or anything like that, it makes it a lot easier to troubleshoot and work on those problems. So I
Nice.
just personally like having everything separated just a little bit. It takes a little bit extra time, but in my eyes it looks a little bit better, and it makes troubleshoot a lot easier.
There we go. Nice. Yeah, the cable management has always been my big fear of just, oh my God. But I will say something that does make that easier is going with a modular power supply, I would imagine.
That's right.
So, yeah, speaking of which, we've got an 850 watt gigabyte 80 plus gold power supply. Ta-da! Look at that bad boy.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and get this opened up.
And while we're doing that, walk us through the different types of power supplies you can get.
Yeah, so really there's three main types of power supplies you can get. You've got your modular, semi-modular, and non-modular. So this is a modular power supply, so we'll just start there. And what that means is none of the cables for this come pre-soldered in. So when I pull this brick out, this is just our power supply. You can see there's obviously no cables, and we've got our ports. Get this plastic off, make it a little bit easier for y'all to see. We've got these ports that will plug in our cables. And so a couple advantages of having a modular power supply: it's less cables for you to deal with when you're plugging everything in and tying up your system. So it saves you some time, gives you a cleaner look. And then if you ever upgrade your system and you need the extra power connectors, you can just pull out your extra cable, plug it in, and you're good to go. So the other two types, semi-modular, it will look kind of like this, but it'll have some cables pre-soldered in, usually your motherboard 24 pin, an 8 pin for your CPU, and then usually a 6+2 for a video card. And then all the others you plug in as you go. And then non-modular is just all the cables are pre-soldered in, so you just plug in what you need and you tie up the rest.
Excellent. Now, the one thing that's interesting about this, there are some power supplies that actually come with, if it's a white power supply, it'll come with white cabling.
That's right.
This one does not, though.
Yeah, this one is. I don't think there's a white version of the Gigabyte yet. The way everything's going, it wouldn't surprise me if one came out. But I think we used a Fantex power supply last episode, and those are nice because, like you said, they do come with the white cables. That look good. They almost look like a sleeve cable.
Yep. Which I really like those.
I do too. So I'm going to go ahead and get the cables that I know we'll need out and ready for this build. Obviously, we've got our 24 pin here. Is it 2 CPUs on that one,
Yes.
Zach? Okay, so we got 2 CPU cables that we'll need.
You had stuff everywhere? Yep. Greg says, when I was hooking up my rig, I had stuff everywhere until I got it all organized. Yeah, I still giggle about about my horrible excuse for cable management on when I did my very first build. Marcus, Sweden in the house. Welcome in from Sweden, up in the dust. Hello, hello. Welcome in. We've got Heedless TV here in the purples. Nice. Okay.
And for tying up your system, if y'all are building your own PC, I mean, you can kind of see how Zach's managing his cables right now. He's got all of his case cables, so those USB headers that we talked about on top, all of those he's got just out of his way. He's wrapped them around the top of the case. We're not worried about these yet. We're gonna take care of our fan cables. Now, depending on the build, you might do the case cables first and then do your fans. But the thing to take away here is that get all the stuff you're not working with out of the way. It gives you more room. He's gonna have his fans all managed, and then he's gonna move to his case cables, and then we'll start getting into the power supply. So breaking it down into those steps just makes it a lot less overwhelming, as opposed to having all of these cables hanging down and you're just trying to figure out where to tie them all to and what goes to what.
Let's see here. If the cords are too long, cut them shorter with scissors. Wow. Let's not do that. Black Dino says, could we get glow-in-the-dark zip ties? Do glow-in-the-dark zip ties exist? I feel like they do. I would think that they would.
You get neon ones, and then you stick a UV light in it.
There you go.
Yep, that also works.
Bam. Done that on a couple bicycles.
Nice.
Yes. Yep. You can. They definitely do. Definitely do. Thanks for making me jump down that rabbit hole. I'm like, wait, I'll find out.
I'll do the research.
Chili Sam, I'm not legally responsible for wrongfully shortened cords. Well, I mean, true. Okay, getting that back in there. So, Paul, how is your journey through WoW going?
Well, so I died at 45 on the Hardcore Warrior, and we haven't been playing since. However, we got Season of Discovery coming November 30th, which is like classic WoW Plus, essentially. So I'm very hyped for that. We're going Horde this time, and I haven't played Horde since like original Lich King. So that's exciting. We got like 20 people. We have like a spreadsheet going with all these people, their classes, and their professions. So we're treating it pretty seriously. November 30th.
Nerds.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yep.
Something stuck in my throat.
So, yep. I am pumped.
Question
Super
Question
jealous.
coming in from
Sorry.
Reza Face. Reza says, DJ, have you ever played an instrument? I know you DJ, so like music's your thing. Actually, I was a classically trained piano player from the time I was 5, I think, and I've played the baritone, tenor, alto, and soprano saxophones, the trumpet, the oboe, and yeah, I'm pretty sure that was it. I tried the flute, did not work out for me. So, but unfortunately, I was really bugged by the fact that I was constantly being told, "Hey, you know, you have to do this," instead of just letting me enjoy playing the piano. It was regimented militaristically, and I quit just to piss my parents off, which was, in hindsight, really dumb.
You're not the boss of me.
Right? You can't tell me what to do.
Yeah.
Play clarinet and electric guitar. Dude, I wish that I knew how to play the guitar. I honestly do.
I said maybe. Oh, sorry, I can't go on any further on.
You can still learn? Yes, if I had time.
I played the trumpet growing up, and then moved on to the baritone and tuba in middle school, and it was so funny. Like, me and my buddy were the tuba players because we were just like the tallest dudes who could handle the tuba.
Tubas?
Yeah, we had 2 tubas in our music class in middle school, and so whenever we had the concerts and stuff, like, we didn't know how to read music at all and didn't pay attention, so we were just like, just like doing whatever we wanted in the thing, just trying to try to not sound like we didn't know what we were doing. It's good times.
Let's see here. Reza asks, how long would you say it takes to... Whoops, I missed the lyrics. How long would you say it takes to learn music theory, or at least everything you need to learn to be decent? I think it... Especially if it clicks with you. If you're already, like, playing music, as long as... If it's already clicking with you, it'll come naturally. But also, I would definitely, you know, get into a music theory class. You know, one term at least. You might find that you really love it. Jibby Won't Stop says you can learn it under 6 months. Right? That's what I've heard. But I can't even clean my room. I would have no room to for a guitar. In fact, I need to do laundry today. Thank you for reminding me. Tubadool. Yes. I just dabble here and there and learned it quite fast and was surprised. All right, nice. Well, maybe I'll figure it out.
I like Hawaii penguin there. That's hilarious.
Every black zip tie used brings a tear to my eye. Understandable. You switch to percussion and then drums, do crimes? Nice. Okay. Now it looks like you are pulling out our graphics card. This is an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4070. Now this is a 2-fan design, so I'm noticing that the 4070s are going down the smaller frame direction.
Yeah, so there's a couple of options now across a few of the brands for a smaller 4070, which is nice to have. Fits in a lot of cases. This packaging is a little weird, so we'll get this out of here. This feels like it was like saran wrap to this cardboard.
Now, as far as weight goes, how does this feel?
This is a light card. Yeah, we definitely won't need to use an anti-sag bracket or anything with this. Weighs, you know, about as much as you think it would, honestly. Some cards are heavier, some aren't. This is pretty light. So we'll go ahead and get the plastic off and give you guys a better look at this.
Nice. You used to bite your clarinet reeds in half? Yep. Yep.
Because you didn't want to play, or?
Chili Sam says, every night I stand on my balcony looking into the horizon with a single tear rolling down my face as I whisper, where are white zippies?
Big on.
That's hilarious. Is that the PC you're giving away? Actually, no, the PC that we're giving away is in the back. And if you want, we can pop to a picture of that so you can see it. It's an incredible build. It is in one of the Fantex NV5 cases. And a big shout out and thank you to the folks at Fantex, XPG, and AData for helping us build that out, along with the folks at Beacon who upped the ante on the bundle because they added in a Beacon mix crate and a brand new Beacon mic. So you'll definitely want to check that out. Yes, yes. That card is big, it's just cold. The card is big, it's just cold in there. Got it. Well said, Radical.
All right.
Oh my God. Oh my God. That's amazing.
Okay, whatever. I'll just do more zip ties.
You trying to get that plastic off?
There's a tiny little piece of plastic stuck. That's
you
going to
go.
bother me if we can't get it out.
You know what'll bother me is if 75 people
yeah,
don't
this is
redeem
perfect.
that code right now. Code on the green. It is Horus-62EB. 62 electric birds. There we go. 62EB for the first 75 people to redeem it. Get there quickly, people. Exclamation GiveHorus if you need the link one more time. Like, to really nail it, this gift. Oh, Lord. Sam and Hawaii are just going back and forth here, and this is great.
Right here?
That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
That's cool.
What you got?
That's a cool knife.
My little tweezers that you
multi-tool.
appreciate.
That's awesome.
Nice. Nice.
Ooh, this.
I just like
Eagle
watching
Scout.
the
Gotta
builds.
be prepared.
That's right. This card is cool looking. This is a little bit cooler than I thought it was.
It's the first in
It's got,
like
like,
GeForce
some-
card that has a housing on it.
And it's like translucent. Like you can, it's kind of hard to pick up, but you can see through all of this, which is, I think it's kind of cool.
Smoked plastic.
We got like dual printed on here,
cool.
so yeah, this looks good.
Nice. Missed it again. Sweet. Stewed Island. All good. All good. I'll have one on my stream later today as well. So, missed one, you can get the other.
Man, that's looking clean, Zach.
Thank you.
I didn't even realize you were already almost done with the case cables.
Right? He's been just balling right there.
Plugging away.
Let's see.
Come down off that Hathor build.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That was a fun morning.
Okay. I think this is the best manage he's ever done. I feel like every time is great, but that's also just me.
Yeah, we have a set standard that we always go by.
Yeah.
But if we really wanted to be like, we're going to spend an unlimited amount of time on this build, we could get it looking just crazy perfect.
Let's do the hard drive.
Hard drive. There we go.
Rezaface mentions that Aorus and Power Color have the best looking GPUs in my opinion. Aorus with the LCD and the GPU is crazy cool. Wait, what?
Yeah, yeah. Those ones are cool. They
What?
came out with one. I don't think it was Gigabyte though. Maybe it was, but there was a card, I think it was with a 30 series on the 3090s that had like a little Tamagotchi dragon egg. It was MSI because it was the dragon egg. And it was like the more you gamed, the dragon would hatch and then it would like grow. It was a really cool idea. Like having a built-in Tamagotchi.
That's hilarious. Let's see. Gauge Raider says, what do you think of the new Corsair cable management solution with the singe wire and is it single wire and hub?
Yeah, so
Okay.
I haven't used those myself. I have seen them. Sounds like a really great design. So, with just having less cables, it's kind of following along with Leon Lee and Fantex on there, where the fans clip together. So there's only one cable. So it's kind of along that. It's a little bit different than that, but very cool. But I've never used one, so I don't know if you have used those.
Sorry, which
Zach?
brand?
You know those Corsair ones that like just one cable.
I have
from here to here and there. Yeah.
no.
So anything with less
wow.
cables in your fans, solid. We're for that.
That is, I just looked up the Aorus card. That's actually really cool. You can take a look and keep track of your temperatures right on the card itself. You know, I can read, but can't type. Listen, I can't type most days.
There we go.
I'm really good at writing as though I'm illiterate. Uswad, welcome. Glad to have you here. And you're welcome, Wally.
I will say the thing that I don't like about that Corsair one is and I haven't used one, so maybe you can change it, but I like, even though we have a lot of cables here, I like that we can separate sections of the cable in the case without having to plug in like our top fans to our front fans and then to a box. I like being able to choose where it goes.
Nice. Now, as far as the fan controllers go, are we going to be using the built-in case fan controller, or are we going to be using the native fan controller?
So we're going to be using this built-in one right there, but this is the same as the other Game DS ones you're going to have. So those black boxes that you've seen us use before, this is what's inside those boxes, that PCB that we're plugging into. So this just doesn't have the like outer housing on it because it's got a spot that mounts it directly to the case there.
Which is great. And with it being that making it a little bit thinner, that's going to be a little more low profile.
Yep. Yeah, it just takes up a little bit less space.
Okay. Do graphics now?
Yep. I think, if you're ready for it.
I really do like this. I like that top part. That's nice.
I'm going to be excited to see what the different colors do. I always forget what this case looks like, what its color capabilities.
Yeah, this case looks hot from the front. That is for sure.
I will tell you where it's not going to be hot, and that is going to be at DreamHack Atlanta, which is happening in the third week of December. We're going to be in Atlanta, Georgia. If you're in the area or you've got tickets, definitely count on seeing us. Come by, say hi. Now, given the size of this card and the weight of it, is this card a candidate for the NSAG bracket?
So
or is it just not long enough?
We won't need one for this card. However, Zach's looking at it right now because this case does come with the GPU holders pre-installed. We obviously took those out while we build, but if he can get it in there and use it, we might as well since the case comes with it. But if you didn't have one, I would say it's fine to not use one.
This is
Vex brings up a very good question. Vex asks, what determines what builds get the CLX logos on the components?
So it just varies on components and where we source them and all that good stuff. There's not like I don't have like a set rule to give you. It just depends on what we can do with it and where we get it from.
You were so bummed that your Intermax didn't get a CLX logo. Oh no.
Yeah, some of them we can't. Unfortunately, there's some that we can't.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead
And now comes the plug all the stuff in mode.
Power spline. I've got 4 screws if you want it. Oh, just cables. Yep.
Why
Yeah.
are you guys?
This should be everything we need.
Perfect. I want you.
I didn't put a GPU on because I didn't see it yet, but this is a single 8-pin,
Yes.
so we'll get one of those ready.
Nice. You want to go to one of those events so bad? But if you, but if I go, I'm going to compete. Like I want to pick up a game, but it's not out right now that feels fun for esports wise. Yeah, there's always a lot of really awesome esports events there.
Yeah, there is.
Especially in Atlanta.
Dude, the fighting game section of DreamHack is like my favorite spot to go to. I mean, now it's Magic since we're doing Magic the Gathering, so that's obviously top. But the fighting game area is where it's at. If you don't know what to do and you're there, it gets so hyped.
Black Dino says we need someone to do a fan art of Sam versus Ivory Battle of the Zip Ties. Yes. And Wally says I watched the VOD for the DG. Oh, the late night thing that we did. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it. That was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I did something a little bit out of the box and came out Saturday night and did a late night DJ set. It was really fun. Fire always wins. Set it on fire. There we go. Now, is it always, I mean, I take it it's just easier to take that frame, I would say plate.
It'll depend on the case.
And then, yeah.
Yeah, so we're seeing a little bit more of this now where the cases have like this plate that comes out of the back and you screw your power supply to it and then install your power supply to it. I don't really get it. I mean, you still have to put screws in when it goes in, but it's a thing.
I am really impressed that so many companies are now including their own anti-sag device.
Yeah, it's nice.
Like,
it's nice to have a lot of good options.
Definitely.
I even saw like Asus has some like RGB anti-sag bracket. Have you seen that, Zach? You can get like a separate component. It's all in like a ROG box and it's like a RGB. It's one of those that the bottom part just sits, you know, on the PSU shroud and goes up. I got a targeted ad from that on Reddit. It's like, wait, what is that? It's an ad. It's just the GPU brace. That's funny.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna drop that in there.
Ah, USS Watt. I saw Ivory respond. I realized I must have missed a question. This is what says I enjoyed my CLX desktop through AAFES. Just hope to get a second 3.5-inch HDD enclosure. Like for external or internal for mounting? Oh, the desktop has 2 spots for 3.5-inch enclosures, but only has a frame for 1. Gotcha. Interesting. Okay. Are trays basically universal, or
They are proprietary to the case usually. Now that's not to say that maybe they won't work, but yeah, it's pretty much proprietary. Excuse me.
Chili Sam asks, is there a set weight limit you go with when it comes to using anti-sag stuff?
That's a good question. So no, we don't have a set weight limit. We have kind of a loose rule where it's like, let's say 40/70 and higher, we want to install one. I say it's a loose rule because, you know, this is a 40/70 here, and this is a very small model that doesn't require one. But that's usually how we set that and go by. Is usually the model of the video card that gets one and everything above that. That being said, you know, if it's a smaller one that doesn't need one, we just kind of play it by ear.
I usually like to, in this situation where the graphics doesn't need it, well, no, that wasn't plugged in. But if the customer wanted to upgrade to a bigger card future down the road, it is helpful to go ahead and already have that with them.
That's a good point, Zach.
And then it kind of shows them how it's kind of initially set up, just to kind of help out, because you know, yeah, we'll burn in everything and take care of everything, make sure it's all good. But if you're ordering a system and you've already got another graphics card that you're going to drop in once you get this one at home, then it's just nice to have.
We did get one more code coming out. It is an unlimited code. That means it's worth 200 entries and anybody can actually use it. It is Horus-SNPC. That is Saturday Night's PC. Okay. Greg asks, what did they do before anti-sag brackets?
We just broke motherboards, really. Unfortunately, that's kind of how it went. Yeah, your PCI. Typically, what would happen on a heavy video card is if the system's shipping, or even if the card was really heavy and it wasn't even shipping, you were just like built it at home and you just left it there. Over a few years, if that card was heavy enough, it will actually break the PCIe slot on the board off of the motherboard. So we weren't seeing so much damage to the video card in those cases, but mostly to the motherboard. That being said, when you're shipping the computers and that slot breaks off, then your video card can kind of bounce around and hit everything else. So we saw a lot of bad things, unfortunately, when the card started getting bigger and we didn't have a solution. So.
Getcha. Pray for the best, prepare for the worst. Yes, I've seen all the damage that can happen. Yeah, it's not pretty. Let's see here. You guys mentioned that these machines have support and repair. Is there an option to upgrade systems over time? Good question, Toothpick.
Yeah, so anytime you want to, if you buy a machine from us and you want to upgrade it later on down the road, you just hit up our support and they'll walk you through that, figure out what you're looking for, what games you want to play, and guide you in that direction. Even if, let's say, you just want to update the video card and you're going to buy it from someone else, if you got one of our machines, you can call in and we'll still give you that recommendation, even if you're not going to go through us with that.
Yeah. Yep. It's part of the reason why CLX is so cool. Let's see. Rezaface says, you guys build PCs, but what's y'all's personal builds looking like specs-wise? It has to be crazy since y'all build them for a living. Good, excellent question.
Ryzen 5 3600 with the artifacting 2060. I love it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've got a 11700K for my processor, and I've got a RTX 2080 Super for my video card. I just upgraded to 32 gigs of RAM not that long ago. So my system is showing some age, so it's about time to upgrade, but it runs everything that I need pretty well now.
And mine is an i9 13900 KF processor with 64 gigs of DDR5 6000 RAM and a overclocked 3090, the ROG Strix one.
Oh yeah.
Gage Raider says we all know Paul uses integration CPU graphics.
That's all I need for old school RuneScape, you know? No, I
think I've told
typically
this
have a
story
video
before.
card.
Oh. I think I told this story once before, but a friend of ours named Hiccup, well, that's her screen name. For the longest time, she was playing, whenever we would play Siege, she was always having to play things on low, because she was lucky if she could get, 45 frames per second on her PC. And then one day she said, you know what, I just noticed there's actually more HDMI slots down below. Do you think maybe this is just a bad one? And we said, what do you mean there's more down below? Well, I'm using the one that's on the motherboard.
No.
What?
Oops.
So did you not get a graphics card? No, I have a graphics card. Did you plug the HDMI into the graphics card? No, should I? Oh my God.
Yeah.
These are frames.
Right? Then suddenly
There are
she's getting
frames.
like 140 frames per second. We're like, yeah, that is a problem.
It's like living your
Right?
life with a weight
Congratulations.
vest on and then taking it off after 10 years.
Yeah. The metal bar in the back of the case helps a lot with anti-sag. Yes.
Look at that.
Classic user error, right? I always say there's a short somewhere between the chair and the keyboard.
Well, it looks pretty darn good right now.
All right. I'll tell you what else looks really good. The CLX websites. Let's talk about how you can get yourself an amazing PC just like Ralph in Connecticut. At CLX Gaming, we try and make it as effortless as possible to get the PC of your dreams and build it out the way that you want it and the way that you need it, which is super great. With our system, you can actually choose anything you want, from Intel to AMD. We've got multiple different options for your processors. You can see there. Choose your graphics card, your memory, and you don't have to be an expert about it because we have a foolproof compatibility system, which means if you happen to select two things that aren't compatible, that little green button above will turn to yellow. And when it does, that means that it's going to say, all right, you've got a DDR5, for example, you've got a DDR5 board, but you've chosen DDR4 memory. So you can either choose a DDR4 board, or you can choose from one of these DDR5 memories that work with this board. Once you make those selections, it'll go back to green and you're good to go. We have everything you can need, including the options for overclocking. We can upgrade your thermal paste. We can even get you peripherals like your beacon mix crates and streaming gear, capture cards. If you need a better router because you can't plug in hardline, that right there. These are all things available, and of course you can order these with your PC. It's like a one-stop shopping center. Now, there are some people who are just not interested in building their own PC, and that's totally fine. We get that. That's why we have dozens of ready-to-ship models that are already put together. They've already been tested, and the best part is they're looking for a home, and who knows, that home might just be yours. So for all of your PC needs, head on over to clxgaming.com and see what we can do for you.
You guys ready for the peel?
One of the things I miss about IT is the ID10T errors. Yes. It's so funny how many people still don't get that dough. Yeah. I work IT help desk. That is not a dumb person. Well, we just had to laugh because it's just like, wait, what? how did you miss that? I don't know. Let's see here. Jesse over on the red says, I highly recommend you guys to my brother. Got it set up from you, and it's so beautiful. No issues at all. Awesome. That is what we love to hear. That is what we love to hear. Yeah, definitely put a picture in the Discord. We have spaces there.
Peeled like a bad sunburn.
A dumb person would be calling the help desk saying the computer won't turn on. The answer was no power in the building. Oh, yeah. Yep.
Is it plugged in?
I don't know. Let me check. I got to get a flashlight. The power went out. Really? Really?
Yep, it is plugged in.
Did you not put 2 and 2 together?
That's fine.
Come on.
That's Wi-Fi.
All right. Right?
What's it
I
for?
thought it was powered by Wi-Fi. You're Wi-Fi.
Alrighty, well, we're
All
ready
right.
to fire
The
this
moment of
thing up
truth.
here. Oh. Does that look good, Jason? Alrighty.
I can already. Oh, look at that! Jeez, that's bright.
Beautiful.
That ram looks great, right in the middle. That's awesome. All righty. Oh, and the push. Can you push the button so we can see some of the things that these do?
Yeah. We got all RGB right there, and then we can cycle through our colors, different modes. And like I said, this can also be
Nice.
controlled with a remote. Ooh, yeah. So you can see it's going through
That
all the
looks great.
effects.
And then you can push and hold down, and that'll set it to what the motherboard is. So then whatever software you have controlled via or on the motherboard, then you can control it that way too.
Wow. Okay, well, let's go through once more time what is inside this amazing PC for Ralph in Connecticut. This is a set obelisk glass mid-tower build, and it is white. It comes with an Intel Core i7-14700 KF processor mounted on an ASRock Z790C Wi-Fi motherboard. It has 32 gigs of DDR5 5600 RAM, and of course, it's coming in with that RTX 4070 graphics card. The operating system's mounted on a 2 terabyte AData Legend 700 Gold M.2, and of course, our secondary storage is a 6 terabyte 3.5-inch Western Digital Blue. The CPU is going to be cooled by an Intermax Liquimax 3 ARGB 360 closed loop liquid cooler, and it's also cooled by 7 different GameDS M2 fans while it's being powered by an 850 watt gigabyte 80 plus gold power supply unit. Nicely done. Nicely done. Cool. Now, here's a fun part. Fun fart?
Oh, yeah.
Dear Lord, a fun part about the show. In just a few moments, we're going to take a break. When we come back, you're going to spend the afternoon with Zach as he continues to build some amazing things and answer all of your questions. So if you need a little bit of a relaxation period, it's very soothing. Now, that being said, we have once again reached that point in the show where when we go, don't forget, you want to pay attention to all the places for our codes that you could possibly get. So please, if you love, wow, I cannot believe it. I'm so beside myself for saying the word fart on stream, and I've said it again. For getting all the latest and greatest, including codes for our social media, you can follow CLX Gaming on YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and Threads. You can also join our Discord with a bunch of like-minded PC enthusiasts and gamers, and that is over at discord.gg/CLX Gaming. You can get codes on our streams on the green, on the purple, sometimes the red, and of course on my streams in the afternoons after the CLX shows. So with that being said, we are going to take a break. When we come back, you're going to be with Zach. So on behalf of Jason in production, Paul and Zach, I'm DJ Blue PDX. Stick around. We got more to go through after the break. We'll be right back.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.